So before the video starts, I'd like to thank PKP or Tomo from Probably Jacob's server for providing the thumbnail for today's video. The first thing I want to say about this game is, why am I in it? I swear this horrific bird is just me when I haven't had my coffee yet. Weird. Ring of Pain is in the same vein as Risk of Rain 2, as in they'd be classified the same way. A roguelike with a heavy focus on risk-reward. However, with Risk of Rain 2, it was fair. There were some balancing issues for sure, but you could overcome most challenges with the skills you earned throughout playing the game. With Ring of Pain, however, you better be prepared to pray to RNGesus. There's a decent bit of strategy involved with Ring of Pain. You have to pick and choose what items you want to keep and what items you want to scrap. You have to decide to attack or move away. There is a lot of strategy involved, but generally takes a backseat to RNG. This is why the game really does live up to its name, Ring of Pain. This is, all in all, a really fun game for about 30 minutes. The idea seems really good on paper, but in execution it is done rather poorly. Most runs will end up in death unless you have almost perfect RNG throughout the run. However, this does not mean the game does not have good aspects. For example, the art of the game is absolutely amazing. However, the game, for lack of better terms, just isn't fun. I tried my best to have fun with it, but it was really boring, with the art honestly being the highlight of the game. The first 30 minutes to an hour booting up the game actually is a really fun and interesting experience. After that, though, it really starts to drop off in quality. The developers really do know how to make a game. It has all the concepts here and all the makings of a great game, albeit super obscure. Whereas games like Hades and Risk of Rain 2 have really obvious gameplay loops, they were able to add systems to make it less noticeable, to add more runtime, to make the game more fun. Ring of Pain is an example of where the devs dropped the ball in this aspect. The core gameplay loop is obvious and painfully so. They did very little to combat boredom within the game. Again, don't get me wrong or misconstrued, the game is good, like really good, but it's boring, just a real slog to play. In later levels, when you are playing the game, it can get exciting as you realize that you are approaching the end with one of two choices forcing you down a final encounter. You will either fight Owl or the Shadow Realm itself. Even getting to this point is boring as all hell, really. This is a full release game and not an early access, and there's a level of quality that I expect from a full release that just isn't present here. It really does feel unfinished and unpolished, with all the god runs ending up almost the same way by wiping the screen out of existence with non-direct damage, which would be poison, light, and soul damage. And after a few runs, it gets boring. This is a nice novelty game that is really interesting to play for the first time, but they don't even try to provide that same sense of horrific wonder throughout the entire product. As it stands, the game is not worth the full price. I would wait until some sort of sale to buy it. Who knows, maybe the Steam Christmas sale will be going on when I get this video out. To sum up Risk of Rain 2, it is a game that exists. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It is, yet again, boring. This is a game that I would play on a laptop for about 30 minutes waiting at an airport for my flight to start boarding. As it stands, this is a game that really feels like a better experience to watch. After I played the game on my own for a while, I decided to use YouTube to look at other people playing the game. It was a fun experience in that regard, however, I cannot suggest this game at full price with how the game currently plays. This game would benefit from changes to the RNG because, as stated above, you better be prepared to pray to RNGesus. The game was, all in all, a 6 out of 10, kind of like that coffee that you put a little bit too much creamer in. So it tastes off, but not off enough to remake. It is a good game, but the issues with RNG do ruin the experience with exactly how much must go perfectly for you to even have a shot at one of the final bosses. In most other games, challenges that require some RNG do present themselves, but even with very bad RNG, you can overcome them with skill, but not in this game. This game will slam you into the wall more times than you can count, hence why it lives up to its name. Ring of Pain. Kinda poetic if you think about it, really. This has been a caffeinated review.